So we're finally getting some red in the stock market today, guys, which, it's been a sea of green. I mean, holy smokes, we've been up and to the right, all-time highs it seems like every single day, and we're finally starting to give back some gains, and it's a healthy pullback, right? The Russell's down 1.9%, the Qs are down 1.4, S&P's down about 0.75%, same with the Dow, as oil, Brent and WTI, they're up around 4% each, and the VIX is up to almost 19 points, up around 3%. So not only are we going to break down the indices, the charts, what I'm doing in the market, a stock that I actually just bought as well, we also have to break down Palantir, break down the charts, some news regarding Palantir, their CEO. He actually just visited Ukraine, had a meeting with Zelensky, so we're going to talk about that in this video. Hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, join my Patreon if you guys want to keep up with my portfolio updates, my private Discord. All of that's linked down below, pinned in the comments, or go to stossurfest.com/Patreon. And now, cheers, take a sip of your coffee, guys. I appreciate you all for tuning in as always, and let's get into it. So we're seeing a sell-off in Palantir, which Palantir has been selling off. You guys know that, but a lot of these memory stocks, a lot of the AI stocks, they're selling off today, and rightfully so. Micron is giving back a good chunk of gains, about 6% today. We have SanDisk down. Let's see how much. SanDisk is down about 8%. So we're finally getting the pullback that we've been talking about in these names. And it didn't take a rocket scientist to predict that we were due for a short-term pullback, some profit taking. This is exactly what I was talking about, right? And we're still up a ton. We're still arguably overbought, but we're now trading more near the moving average, the 50 moving average here on this 4-hour time frame, on SanDisk, on Micron. DRAM's another one, which is a memory ETF. This is approaching the 50 moving average right here at about 48, 50 bucks. It's down 8%. So this looks good, healthy. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if buyers started coming in here on DRAM, Micron, SanDisk for the next move, right? I would not be surprised at all if that ended up happening, right? And let me touch upon quickly the stock that I just added an initial position in, a little nibble is what I like to call it here, guys. Lam Research. I bought a little bit right before starting this video at about 284.70. I think I got filled. And this is one that I think overall is in the beginning stages of the breakout. And don't get me wrong, it's been breaking out. I mean, this stock was at $95 back in September, but you'll notice here on this chart, we can see we just started taking out this 250 to 260 resistance just a couple of weeks ago, right? We just started seeing this triangle start to play out just a couple of weeks ago, and it's fully breaking out now, but it's the start of the breakout in my opinion. I think Lam Research could be going to 350, 400, right? Based on trends that I'm noticing, which we'll dive deeper into it maybe in another video, in a separate video. I'm actually doing a write-up in my Patreon right now. I haven't posted it yet, but I'm doing a longer write-up as to why I'm getting into Lam Research here, but it's a midterm trade, and really it's based on not only fundamentals but the charts as well. We're noticing again the ascending triangles playing out. We're just now starting to take out 275, which was the high from back in, not September. What am I saying? April, right? We hit about 275, so we're now taking that out. Seeing a nice pullback here, about 4 or 5%. I think this is a great opportunity for me, at least, to start getting in slowly. And if we can get this stock overall, for me, if I can get an average cost in the 250, 275 range, that's great. That's great for me. I think, honestly, I don't even think it goes down to 250. I think we see this dip get bought up, And I think we're going back over 300 pretty soon here. So Lamb Research, LRCX, quick little rundown. I added some shares, just over 284, and I'm going to buy more if this thing slips even further, which it totally could. But the trajectory is bullish, and the fundamentals are very bullish, and it's less overbought, way less overbought than some of these other, names in the space. Micron, SanDisk, and they're different businesses, obviously, but they're all grouped under the umbrella of the AI trade. And I think Lamb Research arguably has more to go than some of these other stocks, companies under the AI umbrella. So let's break down Palantir very quickly, which I think Palantir, quite frankly, also has a lot more upside, a lot of upside here in the, mid to short to midterm, maybe not short term, but midterm, next 3, 6, 9 months. I think Palantir does have a great chance of breaking out, but we just haven't done it yet. The charts are being, defiant. What do you want to call it? I don't know. They're being defiant, guys. The charts are not playing out, and it's been months. And we're still stuck in this descending triangle on Palantir. We're down 1.4, 1.5% on the day, and we're struggling to break through the moving averages, the triangle. We're struggling to break the downtrend. So in my eyes, Palantir is not going to really reverse or fully break out until it takes out 145, 150 and above. And I get why you would want to buy here, dollar cost average before it breaks out. That makes sense. But if you're looking at it as a trade, you might be in it longer than you want to be in it if you buy it before the breakout. But I get it. If you're looking at it as a long-term investment, it would make sense to actually add here at more suppressed valuations as opposed to waiting for the actual breakout, because as a long-term investment, it's long term. You have more time to wait it out. Whereas as a trade, you want to kind of get in and out, and you want to get the best possible entry. And I don't think we're there yet when you're looking at it as a trade. Even though they reported great numbers, growth is through the roof, record numbers in many categories, right? It's still struggling to break through. And I don't think that's going to last long. I think, honestly, Palantir got ahead of itself a little bit last year. It was a 10-bagger, a 20-bagger, man, in a very short amount of time. And now it's kind of coming back to reality a little bit, forming a new base before it starts to run up again, in my opinion. That is what we're doing here. So let's break down the news quickly of what is going on here. Palantir's CEO, again, visited, let's see here. Let me pull up the right article here, guys. He visited Kiev, or I'm pretty sure that's how you say it, Kiev, right? Or Kiev, either way. He visited Kiev, and Ukraine's defense minister says the company's technology is helping plan deep strikes inside of Russia, right? We can see Palantir CEO Alex Karp has visited Ukraine, meeting with President Zelensky and Defense Minister Fedorov, and Karp was among the first leaders of major Western technology companies to actually visit Kiev after the start of the full-scale war in June 2024. Man, has it been 4 years already? Holy smokes. We can see here, Fedorov said in his Telegram channel discussing the visit, since then, we have been actively collaborating, and according to the defense minister, we can see the joint work with Palantir includes a system for detailed analysis of air attacks, solutions for processing large volumes of intelligence data using AI, and integration of the company's technologies into planning deep strike operations inside Russia. And Fedorov also said Ukraine and Palantir had built a platform giving developers access to real battlefield data for training AI models, which is very important. More than 100 companies are already training 80-plus models for detecting and intercepting aerial targets under complex conditions. And Zelensky, for his part, said he had discussed with Karp areas of technological development, both in the context of the fighting and civilian needs, and described Palantir as a global well-known company with strong potential, and said there were areas where Ukraine and Palantir could be useful to each other and strengthen the defense of Ukraine, the U.S., and their partners. You guys know, I mean, again, they've been working for a couple years together, and Palantir is one of the most well-known and yet most secretive technology companies in the world, working with American government agencies that include the military, intelligence services, and U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Its technology is widely believed to have been used in locating Osama bin Laden, on a side note, and the company has also faced accusations of surveilling Americans and operating with insufficient transparency, which I know you guys have heard about that, the back and forth. Regarding, people that support Palantir, they're skeptical of the company. But yeah, we got them meeting in Kiev, Alex Karp, the defense minister of Ukraine, and Zelensky, right? So this is not enough, obviously, to move the stock. I'm not sure if anything really material came out of this meeting this go around. But yeah, it seems like the stock, like I said, is stuck in this descending triangle, and it just doesn't want to break out. But I'm confident when it does break out, and I think it will. But the question is when. It's going to go bananas. Maybe not as much momentum as we saw last year. I don't think you could replicate that. Maybe in other stocks, maybe in other other names here. But will Palantir see that kind of momentum again? Maybe. Never say never, but it's going to be tough to replicate it. But it could still see some momentum, maybe not as vast as what it saw, but I think it definitely could see a good run here back to the 170s, maybe higher. So I'm looking to go long. I'm already long in my long-term account, but for a trade, I'm eyeing it up here as well. As it breaks, if it breaks above, in my opinion, when it breaks above 150 to 160, that's going to be the trigger. So PLTR, quick little update there, guys. And quickly, let's look at the indices, which again, we're down, but it's a healthy pullback, and it's been much needed, even though it's not really that big of a pullback. We're seeing the S&P, looking at SPY, it's down 0.75%. We're now selling towards the 50 moving average here on the 4-hour chart. That's good. The Qs are doing the same, selling down to the 50 moving average, down 1.4%. The Russell's down 2%, and you guessed it, it's also selling off to its 50 moving average. So this is healthy, guys, healthy. You can't expect the market to go up and to the right, have all these stocks go bananas with no pullbacks in between. It's not realistic. So we're getting the pullback. I'm taking advantage here in certain names, nothing too crazy. I'm not unleashing all of my cash. It's not one of those pullbacks, but I'm strategically buying here and there, and I'm riding it out. I'm riding it out with my positions here, guys. I'm excited, man. This market is looking very strong, and we're finally starting to break through here on all these indices. People tend to forget, we had months of flat trading, sideways trading, actually negative trading. If you look at the Qs, we were at, back in September, we hit $600 on the Qs, right? That was a milestone. And we got all the way down to 550 by the end of March. So we're talking 6 to 7 months of negative trading, right? The Qs were down about 10% over a 7-month span, and now we're starting to rip. I mean, it's been a long time coming, in my opinion. We're up 25% off the lows, and again, it's accelerating here, the breakout, not only because of what we just said, we were flat for 6 to 8 months, but earnings were so strong out of big tech. It kind of surprised Wall Street, and the market was like, holy crap, these companies just reported ridiculous numbers, And that just sent the momentum even further through the roof, right? So I'm excited. What do you guys think? Are you buying anything on this dip? Let me know in the comments. Hit the like button and join my Patreon for my portfolio updates, my private Discord. All of that's linked down below, guys, pinned in the comments, or go to stocksurfest.com/Patreon. And with that being said, cheers. I'll see you all in the next video.